Inheritance of one gene or monohybrid cross. Here we consider one pair of contrasting character in a hybridization or one character. For example, for height character, there are two contrasting character. They are tall and dwarf. So tall and dwarf are pair of contrasting characters of height. Like that, round and wrinkled are the contrasting characters of seed shape. Now, what is the genotype of pure tall and dwarf? Yes, capital T, capital T. Dwarf is small t, small t. Why given small t for dwarf? Because it is recessive character. Here, parents are homozygous, so they produce only one type of gametes. So, tall give capital T, small dwarf gives small t. These two gametes fuse to form F1 progeny or first filial generation. First generation were formed by fusing these two gametes. What are they? Capital T and small t. And F1's genotype is capital T, small t. Here capital T is dominant, so all are tall, but they are heterozygous. Parents were homozygous, but here this tall is heterozygous. Therefore, if homozygous tall and dwarf were crossed, F1 all will be tall, but they are heterozygous. For what? To get F2 generation. To get it second generation, we have to do selfing of F1. Who is F1? A heterozygous tall. So their self-pollination means you have to write two times capital T small t cross with a capital T small t. So this is represented by selfing of F1 to get F2. See, the F1, since it is heterozygous, it will produce two types of gametes. See, both the parents produce two types of gametes, capital T, small t. Now they are random fusion. You see, capital T fuse with the capital T, or it may fuse with a small t. Next, small t may fuse with a capital T, or it may also fuse with a small t. So two possibilities are there, capital T small t or small t small t. So these are the possible genotypes in F2 or in second generation. We will get these type of genotypes. If this gamete fuse in random, when the gametes fuse, we will get these combination. What are their phenotype? First one is tall. Is it homozygous or heterozygous? It is homozygous because their allele are similar type. That's why they are called homozygous. Both is capital T, similar. Second tall and third tall, these are heterozygous because here this tall's genotype is capital T and small t. Both are dissimilar alleles of same gene. So they are called heterozygous. So there are two tall which are heterozygous. And last one is dwarf. This dwarf is small t small t. You know that small t is recessive allele. So it expresses only in homozygous condition. Three tall and one dwarf. That is, three tall is to one dwarf. This is their phenotypic ratio. So which is the phenotypic ratio? 3:1. Phenotypic ratio means, phenotype means morphological appearance. Genotype means genetic constitution. What are morphologically, what you can see, what you could see here? Three tall and one dwarf. So phenotypic ratio is 3:1. So this is the 3:1 is the F2 phenotypic ratio of a monohybrid cross. Next, what is genotypic ratio? Genotypic ratio means in here how many combinations of genotypes we got. There are three combinations. One capital T and two times we get capital T small t and once small t small t. In F2 we got this type of genotype. So genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Phenotypic ratio 3:1. Genotypic ratio 1:2:1. So in a monohybrid cross, which is the phenotypic ratio? 3:1. What is the genotypic ratio? 1 is to 2 is to 1. Now, how many types of phenotypes are there? 2. That is tall and dwarf. How many types of genotypes? 3. That is 1. Mendel proposed two laws from his monohybrid cross. First one, law of dominance, which is the first point there. Characters are controlled by discrete unit called factors. What are the examples? We written already. Capital T for tall, small t for dwarf. So characters are controlled by discrete unit. Example, capital T, small t, capital R, small r, capital W, small w. Second point, factors occur in pairs. See, already we seen capital T or capital T small t, capital R, capital R small r. Like that only we written while representing hybridization. So factors occur in pairs. Second point, correct? Then third point, you see here capital T small t. Are they homozygous or heterozygous? It is heterozygous. Still, it shows the character of tall. Next, capital R, small r, heterozygous. Still, it shows round character. That means here small t and small r fails to express their character. Then who express their character? Capital T and capital R show their character. That's why in a dissimilar pair of factors, one dominates the other. For example, dissimilar pair means heterozygous condition. You see here capital T small t, capital R small r. Each one is a dissimilar pair of factors. And when it is dissimilar pair of factor, one dominates the other. For example, capital T dominates small t and small t is recessive. Another example, capital R is dominant and small r is recessive. Now the second law, law of segregation or law of purity of gametes. You know, in monohybrid cross, parents were tall and dwarf. Then what was in F1, first generation, first offsprings? They were all tall. So F1 were all tall. There were no dwarf, but F2 there is tall and dwarf. So dwarf was not seen in F1, but it is recovered in F2. Here you can see that F1 is all tall and F2 3 tall and 1 dwarf. Dwarf character phenotype was not in F1 but it appears in F2. So the character which was not in F1 reappears in F2. So both the characters are recovered in F2. So in F1, capital T and small t alleles are not mixed or not blended. That's why dwarf character reappears in F2. So though the parents contain two alleles, during gamete formation, they separate and segregate, and only one of the allele goes to each gametes. So even though parents contain capital T, small t, gametes contain either capital T or small t. And there will be two types of gametes. One contains capital T, another gamete contains small t. So there is no blending or mixing. So we can repeat that though parents contain two alleles, during gamete formation, allele of a pair segregate from each other. Therefore, gamete receives only one of the two factors. Hybrid cross, and what are the two laws from monohybrid cross? You know that is law of dominance and law of segregation. Law of segregation also called law of purity of gametes.